Okay, so this is the second video and ang topic natin ay cost behavior and cost volume relationship. Okay, if I'm not mistaken. Tapos, medyo maulan, kaya madilim din. So, pagpasensyahan nyo na lang kung may naririnig kayo sa background na, ulan. Alright, so first off, introduction muna tayo ng cost accounting. Okay, so you have your management accounting. Under ng management accounting ang cost accounting. Okay, itong cost accounting, this relates to the management of cost in a business operation and how it's used to properly manage finances. Okay, so ang isang business, di ba, normally may mga gastos yan, may mga expenses, and then yung individual departments dito sa isang business, meron silang kanya-kanyang, cost or mga pinagagastosan. And HR department, syempre, meron din kayong sarili nyong paggamit ng financial resources. And on the part ng management accounting, ang pinaka-main goal talaga nila is to make sure na yung resources na ginagamit ay properly utilized and efficiently utilized. Kumbaga na ma-maximize yung paggamit ng resources in such a way na nakaka-contribute siya sa improvement ng business at pag-generate ng revenue. Okay? And then, itong cost accounting ginagamit in computing the accurate cost of products to be used in determining the selling price. Okay? Di ba, this is true for businesses na nagbebenta ng products or nagpo-provide ng services. They have to make sure na yung price na china-charge nila for a particular product is nako-cover yung cost ng products or yung nagastos nila para ma-produce yung particular product na yon or service. Okay? Para sa isang business, para sila kumita, syempre ganun talaga. Yung cost, yung nagastos nila, papatungan nila ng markup, yun yung magiging selling price, and from there, dun sila magkakaroon ng profit. Okay? So, kailangan careful sila sa pag-compute ng accurate cost ng products para baka mamaya yung cost pala ng product andito. Tapos yung na-set na price is below that. So, lugi pa yung business. Okay? So, they have to make sure na na-compute ng maayos yung cost ng products. How would this relate to HR? Okay? Di ba HR, labor, resource, human resource. So, kung example, may mga, of course, kumuha kayo ng employees para dalhin dun sa production. Tapos, di ba kayo yung nagko-compute ng salary and wages nila. So, you have to make sure na properly accounted yung cost or yung labor cost dun sa pagko-compute ng cost of products. Okay? So, kailangan yung information na ipoprovide nyo, babato nyo sa management accountant or sa accountant is accurate dapat. Okay? And then, kinagamit din sa budget preparation and monitoring. Normally, ang businesses, gumagawa sila ng annual budget. Okay? So, karaniwan, nakabase siya on historical cost, syempre. Pero kung gagawa ka ng panibagong budget for the incoming year, kailangan ko consider mo yung changes na balak gawin ng management. So, kunwari, balak na management na mag-increase ng production. So, as HR, siguro reaction nyo would have to hire more people din, para in proportion dun sa balak na increase in production. Tapos, of course, additional training cost kung magkakaroon kayo ng additional na tao. And then, what else? For example, another decision na kinoconsider ng management is increasing the salaries of the employees. So, kayo sa HR, normally kayo din yung responsible for the adjustment of the salary scale. Tapos yung increase doon, syempre, you have to compute magkano kaya yung madadagdag sa budget ng business kapag in-increase natin or ni-revise natin yung salary scale ng business. Okay, so you have to prepare for that and then bato nyo ulit sa accountant or sa management accountant para ma-include nila sa master budget ng business. And then, of course, you have to monitor. Okay, napasa mo na. Tapos, throughout the months na dumating, di ba, for the incoming year, pansin mo parang, okay, napasobra pala yung na-budget ko. Which is, normally, okay lang naman ang over-budgeting, Pero, syempre, mas maganda sana kung malapit sa katotohanan para yung budget na na-allocate sa'yo, magamit pa sana sa ibang department. Okay? Pero yun nga, na-allocate na sa'yo, edi, on your part, good para sa'yo kasi hindi kayo makukulangan ng budget. But on the overall situation ng company, it's kind of negative kasi sayang kung kung yung kasobrahan ng budget na na-allocate sa inyo is naibigay to another department na mas may pangangailangan din. Okay? Normally kasi sa businesses, syempre, salaries and wages. Under ng HR, salaries and wages, di ba, sweldo ng tao. Ang isa namang business, hindi yan gagalaw kung walang tao, right? So normally, one of the priorities when it comes to budgeting, ang budget for salaries and wages. Okay? Normally, hindi yan binibigyan ng cuts. Okay? Kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng bawasan ng sweldo ng mga tao, right? Fixed na yan halos. Okay? So, kung magbabato kayo ng budget to the accounting department, normally hindi na yan gagalawin. Okay? So, bibigyan agad kayo ng budget allocation nyo, tapos yung mga matitira, edi i-allocate to the other departments. Ngayon, yun nga, kung over budget yung napunta sa inyo kasi hindi masyadong accurate yung inyong projection ng cost for the next year, it is good for your department kasi hindi nga kayo magagahol sa costing or sa budget. Pero on the part of the other departments na yun nga, sana nagamit nila yung naka-allocate sa inyo, right? On the other hand, paano kung, yun nga, kinulang, for example, may plan nga yung company or yung business na mag-increase ng production by 20% in the incoming year. Tapos, ang ginawa nyo, di nag-project din kayo na mag-hire kayo ng 20% more people para sa production department. Kasi yung mga nakuha nyo, mga skilled or maraming years of experience, so pagdating dun sa salary scale, medyo mataas pala yung kanilang sweldo, kapos pala yung nailagay nyo sa budget. So, how are you going to respond to that? Okay, normally, kapag, early months na monitor man na agad, sa budget kasi, di ba, 12 months yan, annual budget. Divide mo lang sa 12, tapos kailangan, syempre, yung monthly, for you to monitor, dapat yung monthly amount niya, hindi ka lalampas doon for particular month. So, pag, let's say, na-monitor mo na siya ng 3 months, January, February, March, tapos lagi siyang lumalampas doon sa monthly budget, abay, kailangan mo na siyang i-consult with the management or with the accounting para ma-adjust yung budget. Especially, kasi nga, salaries and wages yan, hindi pwedeng basta-basta i-cut na lang yung budget. Okay? So, ayun, in relation to HR. That's how you monitor the budget. Okay? Tapos, itong cost, normally, ano bang definition ito? Monetary amount of resources utilized to create products or to receive a service needed in the operation of a business. Okay? Main cost ng mga companies, of course, again, salaries and wages. Tapos you have your utilities, diba? Electricity, water, internet, communication expense. And then you have your other operating expense, security, professional fees for audit, others, depending on the type of business kasi, And then, costs are generally incurred to obtain benefits currently or in the near future. Ang mga businesses, kaya sila gumagastos, of course, ang kapalit kasi ng paggastos nila is makapag-generate ng revenue. Kung manufacturing company yan, siyempre gagastos sila sa materials, gagastos sila sa laborer, gagastos din sila dun sa mga other overhead costs na kailangan sa factory. Tapos, ang main point main purpose is of course makapag-produce ng products. Okay? Tapos yung products, ibebenta, eventually, magkakaroon ng revenue ang business. So, ayun, ini-incur yung cost to obtain benefits. Kaya normally, kapag nag-deliberate sa budgeting, yung mga cost na wala namang magiging ambag, yung tipong gastos lang siya, tapos wala namang balik sa business, hindi makaka-increase ng revenue or hindi makakatulong sa improvement ng operations, normally kinakat yung mga ganon. Okay? You have to justify na itong cost or itong kagastusan na gusto mong, laanan ng management ng pera ay magkakaroon ng eventual benefit na maibigay sa company. Okay? So, yan. Examples, rent to use a space for store. Siyempre, kung tindahan yan, kailangan mo ng lugar talaga. Payment for the materials you use to manufacture the products. Hindi ka naman magkakaroon ng product kung wala kang materials na gagamitin. Payment for the labor of your factory workers. Okay, kasi sila yung, let's say, mag-assemble, sila yung mga gagawa dun sa materials to turn them into finished products. Okay? So, ayan lang. Ito ay, ayan. Punta na tayo dito sa types of cost. Okay? Different types of cost. Dito tayo sa taas. So, manufacturing cost, para to dun sa mga companies na involved in the manufacturing process, syempre. Okay? Itong manufacturing cost, ang kasama dito ay yung mga cost na ginagamit to manufacture the product. Okay? Tatlo yung manufacturing cost elements natin. Itong direct materials, direct labor, saka manufacturing overhead. Direct materials, ito yung cost of materials na ginagamit sa pag-produce ng product. Tapos, normally, directly traceable sila dun sa products. Kita dun sa mismong products. Nakikita dun sa mismong products. Tapos itong direct labor, cost of labor paid to factory workers directly involved in the manufacturing process. So again, ito ay HR, human resource. So in a way, kayo ang magiging responsible for this computation of the cost of labor paid to the factory workers. So, kumbaga sila yung mag-assemble ng products or sila yung mag-operate ng machineries in the factory or in the production process. Tapos itong manufacturing overhead, ito yung mga, kumbaga, miscellaneous expenses, na hindi kasama sa direct materials and direct labor. Okay, kasama dito sa manufacturing overhead yung mga indirect materials, ginamit din sa production pero hindi directly traceable dun sa product. Let's say mga glue, mga tali, or mga maliliit lang na nails or kung ano man, ganyan. Okay? Kumbaga, hindi significant yung kanilang presence dun sa product. Right? And then you have your indirect labor, let's say factory maintenance personnel. Okay? Hindi sila directly involved dun sa pag-produce ng products, hindi sila humahawak ng materials para i-turn into products, pero nagtatrabaho din sila dun sa factory. Let's say sila yung taga-ayos ng assembly, sila yung naglilinis ng factory kapag, before and after magtrabaho yung factory workers. So, yun. Hindi man sila directly involved sa production, pero part sila ng production pa din. And others incurred in the factory, example, yung rent ng factory building, depreciation ng mga factory equipment dyan, machineries, utility bills in the factory. So, kung gumagamit ng machinery na, de kuryente, edi yung bill nun. Alright? So, yan. Manufacturing overhead. So, again, itong tatlo under ng manufacturing cost, direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Tapos, meron tayong types of cost. Okay, marami actually itong types of cost, iba-ibang categories. So, we have product cost, saka period cost. Itong product cost, normally, ito din yung manufacturing cost. Okay? Incurred to manufacture your products, includes direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Tinatawag siya na product cost kasi itong tatlong to yung kino-compute para to calculate yung how much ang nagastos to produce the products. Okay, kaya siya tinawag na product cost. Tapos, kina-classify ito into two depending on whether the products are sold or not. Okay, kapag nabenta na siya, yung cost ay nakalagay sa cost of goods sold. Tapos, kapag hindi pa sold, andyan pa rin sa warehouse or sa store yung products, yung cost na related dun sa mga unsold products, pagdating sa financial statements, nakalagay siya sa finished goods inventory. Okay? Tapos, meron tayong tinatawag na period cost, costs that do not form part as the cost of the products. These include the rent of office space, advertising, sales commission, utilities, and supplies in the office. So, kumbaga outside the production process or outside the production department. Okay? Mga tipong administrative and selling expenses na ito. Okay? Ayan. Practically includes administrative and selling expenses. Alright, types of cost, meron tayong non-manufacturing cost. Ito yung period cost naman. Yung period cost dito, ito din yun. Non-manufacturing, another term for it. Not attributable to the manufacturer of the product. Ang examples, research and development cost, diba? Before production pa to, pre-production. Marketing or advertising, ito naman post-production. Kapag andyan yung product, ibebenta na, diba? Marketing or advertising. Selling and distribution costs, customer service, and then general and administrative costs. Alright? Types of cost, yung products cost and manufacturing cost, technically the same. Tapos yung period cost and non-manufacturing cost, they're the same. Okay? Types of cost ulit, direct cost, saka indirect cost naman. Okay? Itong direct cost, directly traceable to a cost object. Normally, itong cost object ay yung product. Right? Cost object, product line, or department. Example ng direct cost, direct labor, saka direct material. Indirect costs, ito naman costs that are not directly traceable to a cost object. So, example dito, repairs and maintenance costs that are applied to various departments and in the production too. Hindi siya direct. Kasama dito yung, manufacturing overhead, indirect cost yun. Saka yung mga non-manufacturing costs, indirect din yan. Well, technically, they're not. Yan. They're not related to, production. So, okay. Correct natin, okay? Direct cost, direct labor, and direct material. Tapos yung indirect cost, manufacturing overhead lang, okay? Yung non-manufacturing, since hindi siya related to production, so hindi siya technically indirect cost, okay? Indirect cost kasi ay related pa rin sa production, pero hindi lang directly traceable sa product, okay? And then, meron tayong tinatawag, this is another cost classification, relevant cost, future costs that differ under alternative courses of action. So, kunwari, meron kang, tinanong ka ng boss mo anong magandang gawin dito sa particular product na ito. Okay? Tingin mo, mas maganda bang bumili na lang tayo sa labas or i-produce ba natin? Example lang, ha? So, yung relevant cost, ang i-consider mo lang doon ay yung cost between alternatives na magkaiba. Okay? Kapag pareho lang on both alternative courses of action. So, hindi siya technically relevant kasi maalin ang piliin mo, gagastusin mo yung particular na kagastusan na yun. Okay? So, normally, yung relevant cost, yung magkaiba lang between the alternative courses of action. Okay? Opportunity cost, ito yung benefit given up when one alternative is chosen over the others. Okay? So, kunwari, kapag pinili mo na itong alternative A, kikita ka ng 10,000. Okay? Tapos, pag pinili mo itong si alternative B, kikita ka ng 15,000. Okay? Pero, of course, other than the monetary aspect, meron pang, other, other factors. So, kunwari, kikita ka ng 10,000, pero tatrabaho ka lang ng 3 days a week. Tapos, itong isa, 15,000, pero kailangan mong magtrabaho ng 6 days a week. Okay? So, yun. Depending on what you want, pag pinili mo tong si option A, ang opportunity cost mo, edi yung benefit ni option B. Okay? Pag pinili mo si option B, ang opportunity cost mo, yung benefit ni option A. Okay? Kasi opportunity cost, benefit given up. Tapos itong sunk cost na tinatawag, another term for this is historical cost. Ibig sabihin, nagastos na. So, technically, wala nang bearing sa decision making, okay? Kasi hindi mo naman na siya mababago eh. Nagastos na nga. Okay? So, treated as irrelevant cost. Okay? Ayan. Another. So, we have under ng differential cost, meron kang incremental saka decremental. Pag incremental, ibig sabihin, tumaas, from one alternative to another, tumaas yung amount. Pero same item lang siya. Okay? For example, repairs and maintenance. Under option A, ang magagastos na repairs and maintenance for 1 year is 100,000. Pero pagdating sa option B, 150,000 siya. Okay? So, yun, incremental cost. Yung decremental, di kabaliktaran, mababa siya dun sa first option. Mataas siya dun sa first option. Pagdating sa second option, bumaba yung amount. Okay? Ayan, another variable cost and fixed cost. Yung variable cost, ito, vary directly to the volume of production. Okay? Normally, ito yung mga per unit na cost. Kapag nag-produce ka ng isang ballpen, let's say 5 pesos ang production cost ng isang ballpen. Kapag nag-produce ng maraming ballpen yung company, so, syempre, dadami rin yung total cost niya. So, let's say, nag-produce ng 100 ballpen. So, 5 times 100, ilan yun? 500. Okay? So, pag nilakihan pa niya yung volume of production, let's say, 100,000. O, edi magiging total niya is 500,000 total cost. Okay? So, variable yon in such that yung total cost is nakadepende sa volume of production. Paglaki ng production, paglaki din ng total cost. Okay? Pero yung per unit niya, constant amount. Ano? Yung isang unit, 5 piso lang. Okay? Kung 5 piso siya. Right? Etong fixed cost naman, okay, wait. Balik tayo dun sa variable cost. Normally, itong variable cost related dun sa, directly related sa product. Okay? Etong fixed cost, normally, indirect. Okay? Hindi siya directly traceable dun sa product. Example nito, rent. Okay? Rent nung factory building. Okay? Mag-produce man yung company ng isang ballpen, magbabayad siya ng rent na, let's say, 10,000. Mag-produce man siya ng 100,000 pieces ng ballpen, ang babayaran niya sa rent is 10,000 pa din. Okay? So, ayan, fixed cost siya regardless of the volume of production. Okay? So, yung total fixed cost, constant siya, regardless nung volume ng production. Pero pag gusto mong kunin, yung per unit amount niya, ang kanyang mangyayari, ang amount is varies inversely to production. Kasi yung fixed cost, i-divide mo siya sa number of units produced para makuha mo yung per unit. So, let's say fixed cost is 10,000 a month, right? Nag-produce ng isang ballpen, 10,000. I-shoulder ng isang ballpen. Okay? Pero kung nag-produce siya ng, let's say, 10,000 ballpens din, so yung isang unit ng ballpen, mag-shoulder siya ng 1 peso para dun sa fixed cost. Okay? So, sa pagdami ng production volume, sa pagliit nung per unit na i-shoulder niya. Okay? Kasi madami yung production. So, marami yung maghahati-hati dun sa fixed cost. Okay? So, balikan natin yung variable. Yung variable, fixed yung per unit. Paglaki ng production volume, paglaki rin ng total variable cost. Okay? Yung fixed cost, fixed yung total. Okay? Rent kasi, kunwari. Tapos, sa pagdami ng production volume, sa pagliit nung per unit. Okay? Kasi marami yung maghahati-hati. Maliit lang yung magiging share nung isang unit. Alright? Direct costs are normally variable, yung direct materials and direct labor natin. Tapos, yung manufacturing overhead, normally mix siya ng variable and fixed cost. Okay? Example ng fixed, din nga, yung rent. Okay, tapos yung variable naman, so let's say, utilities, electricity, water, ganyan. Okay? So, alin dito ang may importance sa inyo? Ay, normally yung classification ng labor cost, or ng direct labor, kasi yung related sa HR. Okay, but it's also good na alam nyo kung paano kinukompute yung cost ng isang product, especially kung yung company nyo in the future is in the manufacturing industry. Okay? So, yan, meron tayong dalawang types of fixed cost. Committed fixed cost, long-term in nature, usually bound by a contract. Example nito, leases. Diba pag, let's say, nag-lease ka sa SM or sa mga malls, yung lease term, normally 5 years, I think, ang minimum. So, hindi mo siya kayang i-eliminate easily. Okay? Let's say, after 3 years, nalulugi na kayo, pero yung lease term nyo, dire-diretso lang. Okay? Magbabayad pa rin kayo nung lease. Discretionary fixed cost, usually short-term, tapos resulting from annual decisions of the management, tapos can be changed by the management. Example nito, advertising, when they want to switch media or channel. Okay, itong discretionary, ibig sabihin, fixed cost siya, technically, pero kaya mo siyang baguhin in the following year. Normally, 1 year lang ito. Okay? Pero let's say, for 1 year, nakafocus lang kayo sa isang advertising platform, tapos hindi kayo nagandahan dun sa performance, gusto nyo mag-switch into another media or another platform, pero syempre, mas iba rin, mag-iiba din yung amount. So, yun, discretionary fixed cost. Fixed cost siya, pero pwede yung, meron kayong discretion to change the amount or on where you're going to use it. Okay? Tapos, ayan, mixed cost na, meron siyang variable and fixed cost. Example nito, ang mga fixed ay rent, depreciation ng machineries or equipment, wages of factory maintenance personnel, sweldo ng mga maintenance, fixed din yan. Utilities, normally variable, nakadepende sa volume ng production. Kung madami kayong, ipoproduce na product, syempre, nakadepende din yung gamit nyo ng electricity, ng water. So, variable siya. Tapos, yung indirect materials, variable din. Sa pagdami din ng volume of production, sa pagdami din ng nagagamit kayo na indirect materials. Okay? So, yan. Mixed cost ang overhead. Overhead cost. Okay? Itong mga to, manufacturing overhead cost, itong mga to. Alright, what are these? We can see the point that utilities are sometimes mixed, as well as the indirect materials. They have a portion that is fixed, and beyond that is variable. Okay? So, merong mga ganitong instances. For example, electricity. Minsan, kahit maliit yung, yung consumption nyo, parang merong silang minimum na i-charge sa kanilang customers, right? Tapos, from that point, ayan, nakadepende na sa kung ilang kilowatts ang na-consume nyo. Okay? So, yung minimum na yon parang siya yung fixed. Tapos, anything above that, yun na yung variable. Okay? Bakit ang dami nito, no? Baka 26 minutes na tayo. Okay, types of cost, step variable, saka step fixed cost. I think under nitong step cost, itong step variable at step fixed. Okay? Ibig sabihin nito, nakadepende yung changes sa level of production, not necessarily by unit, okay? Di ba yung variable natin kanina, per unit, yung example? So, isang ballpen, 5, mag-produce ka ng 2 ballpen, so 2. 2 ballpen, edi 10 yung total cost. Dito sa step cost, yung change in level of production, by batch siya. Hindi siya by unit. Okay? So, for example, setup cost. Isa-setup mo yung machinery, may cost siya before production. Pero yung pag-setup mo for a batch of product siya. For example, ay 100 units ang kayang i-produce kapag nag-setup ka ng machinery. Okay? So, yun, step cost siya. Ibig sabihin, for the particular batch, ito yung cost niya. Pag nag-add ka ng additional batch, another cost siya. So, let's say, di ba, 100 units. Kung yung ipoproduce mo for that particular setup ng machinery is 50 units lang, yung cost mo for setup is, let's say, 1,000 pesos. Pero pag ang pinroduce mo in that particular setup is 100 units, ang setup cost mo is, ganun din, 1,000 pa din. Okay? Kasi per batch siya ng 100. Alright? So, yun, example yun ng step variable cost. Have small differences between levels. Okay? Tapos, ito namang isa, step fixed cost, have large differences between levels. Okay? So, kunwari, meron kayong production area, nagre-rent kayo dyan ng 10,000, right? Tapos, ang kaya nyo dyan i-produce is, let's say, 100,000 units of product, right? Tapos, ay balak nyo palang mag-increase in production kasi hindi na kaya dun sa particular factory na yun din. So, what you did is you find another factory na, another 10,000 ang rent. Okay? Tapos, magpuproduce ulit kayo doon ng up to 100,000 units din. Yun yung capacity, pero not necessarily ganun kadami yung ipoproduce talaga ng business. Let's say, 20,000 units lang dun sa panibagong factory, right? But of course, they can increase it. Pero hindi naman bigla-bigla ang pag-i-increase. Kailangan siya ay step by step pa din. So, ayun, natapos na rin. Okay? So, ayun lang. Again, discussion natin dito ay cost behavior, kung ano-ano yung ibig sabihin ng different types of cost na yan. And then yung cost-volume relationship. More on, yung cost-volume, more on dito sa variable, saka sa fixed cost. Na kapag lumaki yung production volume, kapag variable, edi tataas din yung kanyang total variable cost. Tapos sa fixed cost naman, pag lumaki yung production volume, liliit yung isa-shoulder ng isang unit. Alright? So, ayun lang for this one. Thanks and bye.